Welcome to Politics NY with Skye Behind the Curtain, where we speak with industry insiders about how government and politics really impacts everything going on in New York City and state. And right now, I have the pleasure of being with former New York State Governor David Paterson, who not only has a ton of government experience from serving in the state, but also took over during a scandal, similarly to Kathy Hochul now taking over during this Governor Cuomo scandal. Governor Paterson took over during the Eliot Spitzer scandal. So welcome to the show, Governor David Paterson.
Well, thank you. It's great to be here.
Thank you. So, what advice do you have for Kathy Hochul taking over during the scandal? I know that when you took over, it was in the middle of budget season. So you had 2 weeks to get this budget done. Do you think she has an advantage? And what sort of things do you think she should be doing now that she has maybe a little bit more lead time with session not beginning until January?
Well, that's the important distinction between when Lieutenant Governor Hochul is starting her service and myself. When I came into office on March 17th, 2008, it was 13 days before the budget was due. So I had a completely different issue. I had to try to figure out how to pass a budget whose negotiations were unknown to me until that point. Governor Hochul's got a unique opportunity because the legislature will not meet in session formally until January 1st. So she's got a good solid 4 months that she can put her legislative agenda together, meet with the legislative leaders, hopefully meet with the conferences, all four of them, the minorities involved as well. They were elected by the people of New York. They deserve to be heard, to meet with their agency heads and really put together a solid budget proposal as well as legislative agenda in that period of time. At the same time, she has a little problem that I didn't have, which is that Governor Spitzer's scandal was basically just about Governor Spitzer. So once he left, that was up to him and the intricacies of the case that he was involved in. Whereas with Governor Cuomo, it seems like every day you're hearing about more malfeasance of duty. Now they're talking about the Joint Commission on Public Integrity, which probably should have its name changed to something that is like the Joint Commission that does what it wants to do. For them to approve his book and never bring it to a vote of the commissioners on the board is outrageous. And it is completely the opposite of what the tenor and the goals of the having a public integrity commission is not to cover up what people are doing. It's to bring transparency and to vote on it. And some of the members of that committee are meeting today to address that problem. Then you have the issue of the governor's office saying that actually they wanted the hardcore deaths due to COVID released, and then that's why they didn't include people who died in their homes, in nursing homes, or in the hospital after leaving the nursing home, or in facilities for the disabled. That is patently ridiculous because everyone else counted all of the deaths that were attributed to COVID on the death certificate. The death certificate determines what the cause of death is unless someone challenges it. And so that's another situation you're going to have to look into. And there are 3 or 4 more. So I think that Governor Hochul is going to have to try to govern in the midst of what is a drama that's not going away right away because it has so many tentacles.
So do you think she's best off clearing house if so many different agencies and people were involved in these different scandals that you've pointed out?
Well, I think she already has done it. She got rid of everybody who was named in the Attorney General's report the minute she came into office. She's made it real clear that as far as Governor Hochul's administration is concerned, with 55,400 some odd people who died of COVID as opposed to 43,400 people, which is what the Cuomo office revealed. And that was 21.8% lower than the figure that Governor Hochul gave. She's pledged herself to transparency and house cleaning. And she said yesterday, I'm walking the walk. Because a week ago, she was talking the talk. She said she was going to do it. She's already done it. So I don't know if a governor has made that much of an impact on the culture in 48 hours. I think it's extraordinary.
Okay, awesome. Now, what do you think of her pick of Brian Benjamin as lieutenant governor? And that's something that hit the news yesterday.
Well, Brian Benjamin is a native Harlemite, went to Brown College and then Harvard Business School, has started some businesses and run them, has experience in the financial world, and yet he's got very progressive points of view about law enforcement and the treatment of different people in our society. I think they're trying to stick on him that he is for defunding the police. I don't think he's actually said that. He just said that a lot of the areas that the police are involved in could be transferred to other agencies like mental health and hygiene for people who are on the streets, and also a Department of the Homeless for people who are unfortunately have no place to live. But I think that he has a rare combination of skills because he brings a lot of those different philosophies into one portfolio, and I think he will serve the lieutenant governor well. He ran for controller and lost, but one thing when you run citywide and lose, you learn that all the different people in neighborhoods that you didn't know before, he will be able to immediately transfer that over to his partner in government, Governor Hochul, and I think it will serve her very well.
Yeah, I had Brian Benjamin on this show when he was running for controller, and he was really cool. He actually did this little freestyle rap right on the show.
Well, I'm sorry I missed that show. I never saw that side of Brian so far.
Do you have any secret talents, Governor? Like, can you freestyle rap too?
Well, when I was in high school, I was sent to play the guitar by my parents. I didn't practice. I got yelled at by my parents, and then I got yelled at by the guitar teacher. So I never took lessons anymore, but I never threw the guitar away. And during the pandemic, I actually started playing the guitar. And last year in September, I actually played in public at 53rd Street and 9th Avenue, a place called Bar 9. And then on Father's Day this year, I played in public again. All I can say is I never had a fear of crowds until I was standing there with a guitar in my hand.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. So did you play any songs?
Yeah, I played Dock of the Bay by Otis Redding, and I played Sea of Love by a lot of people. And I played Don't Let the Green Grass Fool You by Wilson Pickett. And, that's my thing these days.
Wow, that's great to have a secret talent and a hobby that you collected during COVID.
Yeah, I just wish I'd started years ago.
So thank you, Governor Paterson, for your insights. Is there anything else that you want to share with us? Maybe an outlook on New York City? We have like a whole new administration coming in between the mayor, the controller, the city council, now working with a new governor. Do you have any insights for us or projections on how this will play out?
Well, here again, we have another newly elected official. In his case, he's going to run in the general election, but he's the odds-on choice to be the next mayor. And he said in a lot of his commercials, and I think this is what gave him a leg up on his opponents, we can have public safety and police accountability at the same time. He is very clear on the fact that crime is the most important issue in this city right now. Whether you're progressive, conservative, whether you, wherever you live, we're hearing about these terrible situations, particularly when people are attacked randomly, which invites the idea that the person, the attacker, the perpetrator, has mental health issues. And while he has always been an activist and right in front of big issues in this city that we fought for, at the same time, he recognizes that we're not going anywhere unless the business centers feel safe and people will go to work and come home in peace. And so Eric Adams, I think, is really blazing the right trail. And I think these types of elected officials, such as Kathy Hochul and an Eric Adams, who aren't always trying to make a big deal out of themselves, don't have to be the center of attention. Every time you paint the sign, you don't have to put their name on it. This would be a startlingly different culture from this kind of monarchy that a lot of governors in this state thought that they were overseeing for too many years.
That's a really good point. Bringing some humility to the office, really, I think will do us wonders, because as everyone knows, this famous feud between Governor Cuomo and Mayor de Blasio, when we don't have that, it won't be all about that anymore. It'll really be about good government.
Right. And part of good government is that you learn to cooperate with each other. And there are many instances in life where people personally didn't like each other. They had a famous poem about, it was about baseball. It was called Tinker to Evers to Chance. They were the double play combination in the 1908 Chicago Cubs who won the World Series. Well, the word was that Tinker and Evers never spoke to each other. They had an argument because one of them left the other in a hotel and took a cab to, I guess, the airport or wherever they were going. The point is that they never spoke off the field, but on the field they worked together, and nobody even knew that they had these personal problems until a reporter did a story on it 20 years later. That's the way people should work together. I have worked with Republicans who I virulently disagreed with on issues, but we could find common ground and we could pass legislation and even understand each other's point of view, even if we didn't totally agree with it.
Yep, I completely agree. I think bipartisanship is key, working together and finding the middle ground, because there are extremists everywhere. There's religious extremists, political extremists. We got to find a middle ground.
And that's one of the problems that Alexander Hamilton warned about when they put the impeachment clause in the original Constitution. Impeachment shouldn't be who has the votes and doesn't have the votes to do it. It should be on the merits of the case and whether or not the president or a governor is upholding the Constitution, or if they have created high crimes or misdemeanors or acted in such bad faith. I didn't think it was necessary to impeach President Trump a second time. He was on his way out. He definitely was a provocateur at that rally on January 6th, but I didn't think we needed it any more than the shrill cries that Biden should be impeached. Listen, we really have messed this situation up in Afghanistan, but that wasn't because Biden was breaking a law. It's because he made a mistake. And when presidents make mistakes, that's what you settle at the polling booth, not in an impeachment hearing.
Mm-hmm. Interesting point. Governor Paterson, thank you so much for your time and for being part of PoliticsNY with Skye Behind the Curtain. I really appreciate it.
Well, Skye, I appreciated the questions, and I think I'll go play the guitar now.
Yes, please. I'd love to hear it and see it. Do you want to do it right now, actually?
No, that's okay. That's okay. But I'll do it for you one day.
Okay. Thank you so much. Enjoy your day and see you soon.
Take care.
Bye. Bye.